Most lawyers don't realize this. Lawyers are a commodity. The only way for you to differentiate yourself and prove that you're actually a better lawyer than everyone else is to decommoditize yourself. So instead, what you want to do is you want to compete over making a better offer. And one of the best ways to do that is to make an offer that's so good that they'd be stupid to say no. Without fail, every time somebody's like, oh, wow, cool business card, because nobody's ever seen anything like this. For the rest of the conference, I was known as the cool business card guy. That's great for my ego, but more importantly, people remembered me. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about several ways that law firms can get better clients that work every single time. Give me some me's in the chat if you want to get better clients and you want to use proven systems that actually will work rather than just kind of guessing and just trying to figure out, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? Something that's actually going to move the needle for you, especially right now when we're in a little bit of an economy that things are a bit unpredictable. So we want to make sure that we're using some things that actually are going to work, that are actually going to bring in clients for your law firms. So that's what today's topic is all about. It's going to be several ways that law firms can get better clients that work every single time. With that said, let's dive into today's content, which is all the ways that law firms can get better clients. And everything I'm going to talk to you about today works every single time. I 100% guarantee that if you do what I tell you today, you will get clients, right? So there's a couple different categories. The first category we're going to talk about is utilizing strategic partners. Now, one of the things that I have built my business on is a very simple philosophy. And it's this philosophy that is created by somebody, or it was basically popularized by a guy named Zig Ziglar. And what he says is, if you can help other people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want, right? So what that means is that if you want to get clients for your law firm, if you want to grow your law firm, if you want to make more revenue, if you want to get better clients, then the easiest way to do that is, first of all, identify, well, who can help you with that? Like, who are the other businesses and vendors in your market that serve the same audience as you? It doesn't have to be lawyers. It could be anybody, but have the same audience as you. And what do they want? And how can we help them get what they want? So let me give you a perfect example of this. There's a guy named Dan Newland, and he is a personal injury attorney in Orlando, Florida. Give me some twos in the chat if you guys know who Dan Newland is. It's funny because Newland is actually, a lot of people don't realize this. He has the largest personal injury firm out of a single office in the entire country, right? So he's bigger than Morgan & Morgan in Orlando. And that's pretty impressive because Morgan & Morgan is from Orlando. But I was talking to Dan, and he was talking about how he got started. And he didn't have a lot of money to get started. He didn't have, this giant bank account. So what he did is he relied on strategic partners. So he started asking, and he does personal injury, by the way. He started asking, okay, who are the businesses around here in the Orlando area that will have access to my clients, the ideal clients that I want? So what he landed on was funeral homes, because he was trying to get wrongful death cases. So funeral homes, everyone that dies ends up in a funeral home for the most part, right? So basically what he did is he said, okay, so funeral homes also serve people who might have been a victim of a wrongful death, or at least their family member is the victim of a wrongful death, right? So what do funeral homes want? Funeral homes want to, first of all, sell more funerals, but second, they want to make more money per funeral, right? So what Dan decided to do is he decided to lean into the, help them get everything that they want so that he can get everything that he wants. And he started having seminars and basically just hosting free informational events for funeral directors and teaching them specifically how to use insurance to pay for funeral expenses. And what that resulted in is now the funeral homes are getting really, really good information from this guy that is going to make them more money and allow more people to hire them for the funerals. So as a result, all he did is he held these seminars and he said, listen, I'm just going to give you this information. The only thing I ask, it's completely free. The only thing I ask is that if you ever have somebody that appears to have been a victim of wrongful death, just forward them my way. Just pass them my way. And that's one of the things that he did that really catapulted his law firm into just ridiculous success. Last time I talked to him, he has 18,000 active cases, right? I mean, there's not a lot of law firms that have 1,800 active cases, let alone 18,000 active cases. And it all started by him helping other people, by him following the philosophy. And this is another philosophy for you to write down. Prove you can help them by actually helping them, right? He actually proved that he could help funeral homes. And as a result, he became someone that they know, like, and trust. He developed a relationship with them. And what ended up happening was they started referring him lots and lots of business, and it worked out really, really well. Now, you guys might be thinking, yeah, but I don't know who to do this with. I don't know who to find strategic partners. And I don't know different things like that. So I've got something really cool for you guys. I've got some chat GPT prompts that I want to give out today. As long as you guys are cool with it, type yes in the chat if you want me to give you some chat GPT prompts that will actually do most of the work that I'm going to teach you about today. So you can just plug it in, and then all you have to do is really just update your practice area and it'll kick out the information. So give me some yeses in the chat if you guys want those chat GPT prompts. All right, cool. So let me show you real quick how to work this so that you can use this to identify strategic partners. And I've already done all the work for you, which is really, really cool. So this is a guide, or this is a document that we're going to give out to everybody today, but we're going to give it out at the end today. So you guys stick around, right? So there's a couple things in here. So first thing is going to be the strategic partners chat GPT prompt. And basically all you have to do is take this in here, copy it, and then we'll go to chat GPT just like this. And you just paste it in there. Now, you see right here, it says, I'm a practice area attorney. Somebody type a practice area in the chat, and I'm going to do a random practice area. First practice area in, all right, personal injury. All right, we already used personal injury. All right, let's go immigration. All right, immigration. I'm an immigration attorney. So if you look at the prompt, it's I'm an immigration attorney looking for strategic partners to send me business. Please create a list of 25 different types of businesses that could potentially refer a business to me for a partner, yada, yada, yada. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to show you how you can use this. So let's go ahead and just click that. All I did was update immigration attorney, and let's see what it kicks out here. All right, here we go. Okay, so what this is going to give you is a list of 25 potential referral partners, and also how you can provide value to them. Because remember, we were talking about the funeral homes. How could he provide value to funeral homes? Well, he's not going to teach them how to have better funerals, but he can teach them how to use insurance, which is related to what he does, personal injury, and how he can use that so that they can actually get more clients, right? So this is for immigration. So you got international recruiters and staffing agencies. And then the value, so why is that? They work with companies hiring foreign talent that need visas, H-1B, L-1, things like that. Value you can provide: help them place more candidates by offering seamless immigration support, host webinars to train recruiters on visa eligibility pitfalls that kill deals, right? So that's something that I'm sure most immigration attorneys could talk about. English as a second language school, real estate agents, tax preparers, CPAs, wealth managers, international student advisors, matrimony attorneys, right? Divorce attorneys, educate them on how to handle clients with pending immigration status and avoid costly mistakes. Like, there's so many different things, so many different companies that you can work with, and you don't need 25, right? You can go through this list and just come up with some ideas. And really, if you have like one or two, like Newland only needed funeral homes. That's all he needed, right? So you can go through, find like one or two of these, and it will make a really big difference for you. And the best thing you can do is go out and help other people get what they want, because when they get what they want, then they're going to help you get what you want, right? So that's one way that you can do this, is you can go through and you can find partners to partner with. Now, another thing that you can do is you can ask yourself, well, okay, maybe I don't necessarily want to do, seminars and things like that, right? But with my strategic partners, what could I offer them that is different than everybody else? So for example, I heard this story it was about a year ago. I heard this story. It was a great story about a criminal defense attorney in Los Angeles, and he wanted to start getting into personal injury. Now, as you guys know, Los Angeles is probably the most competitive market in the world, and personal injury in Los Angeles is just cutthroat, extremely, extremely competitive. And he didn't have a huge budget. So he was asking, okay, how can I get personal injury clients? What skills do I have that I could rely on that would allow me to get some personal injury clients? So what he did is he actually came up with this really cool idea. He created these business cards, and they were gold foil business cards. And because he did criminal offense, he also knew how to handle traffic tickets. So on one side of the business card, he basically said, this is your get out of a traffic ticket for free card, right? So hold on to this card. And if you get any traffic ticket over the next 5 years, just give me a call and I'm going to take care of it for you. So what he did is he went around throughout Los Angeles. He spent a couple weeks going through, and everybody that he could think of that potentially could refer him business, and there was business owners, it was, lots of different people. Every single person, he gave him one of these business cards, one of these get out of speeding tickets for free cards. Now, why did he do this? He did this, one, because he's offering something of value. Like, most people are not going to turn down, oh, you're going to handle a speeding ticket? Okay, cool. Like, even if you don't have a speeding ticket, people will still, hang on to that. But then what happened is it also made it so that they wanted to keep the card and that they remembered the card. And then whenever somebody heard whenever they heard somebody that needed an attorney, who do you think they referred him to? And this worked really, really well. It worked extremely well, to the point where he grew his personal injury firm really, really big, really, really quickly, just because of the fact that he was offering to give out just because he gave out these business cards that basically said, look, you get a speeding ticket, I'll take care of it for you. And the truth is that most of the speeding tickets that come in, like, he doesn't even have to do anything. He's got staff that does it for him, right? So that's the next question is, when you're working with strategic partners, what skills do you have that you might be able to offer them that would make them want to work with you, that would, provide value to them, so they want to provide value back to you? Here's another example. I talked to another personal injury attorney who was running PPC ads. He was running Google ads. And his Google ads for keywords like personal injury attorney near me, car accident lawyer near me, injury lawyer, things like that, it was like over $100 a click. It was very, very expensive. But he happened to notice that keywords for body shops were actually really cheap. So like body shop near me, car painting, car damage, keywords like that. Somebody that they got their car damaged somehow and they need to get it repaired. And those were like 5 cents a click. So what he did is he actually stopped running ads for personal injury, and he started running ads to generate leads for body shops in the area. And he basically just flooded the market and got all the body shop leads. So then what he started doing is he started sending the leads for free to the local body shops. And he did this for like 2 or 3 weeks. And he was just referring business after business after business after business to all these local body shops. And the local body shops were loving this guy because he sent them all this business. So then after a couple of weeks, he goes to him, he says, hey, listen, do you like all of the leads that I've been sending you lately? And they're like, yeah, we love them. He's like, okay, cool. Well, I'll keep doing it. Just as long as whenever somebody mentions that they were in a car accident and it wasn't their fault, that you refer them to me. So he was able to leverage these, arbitrage these really inexpensive leads for body shop and turn them into car accident cases and turn them into injury cases because of the fact that he looked at a strategic partner who serves the same market as him, body shops, and he asked, what do they want? They want more business. How can I help them get more business? He ran leads for them. And then as a result, now they're sending leads his way, right? So if you think about that, if you think about what can I offer these other businesses that it would be stupid for them not to send business back to me, then it gets really, really easy. So here's some other cool things you can do. Now, I saw this recently in Lakeland. This is a personal injury attorney. I used to live in Lakeland, Florida. I don't live there anymore, but I'm going to share this. And basically what he did is he teamed up with local restaurants and he like popular restaurants, and he paid them to basically name a pizza after him or name a dish after them, right? So this is introducing the 1-800-ASK-DAVE pizza, right? And the cool thing is that this is somewhere where no one else. First of all, I guarantee you Jay Burns Pizza Shop was not like, you know what, we need to sponsor our menu, right? And so the attorney went to him and said, hey, listen, I'll give you guys X number of dollars to just name this pizza after me. I think that's how it worked, right? Because there's a couple different places. And now they have a menu item where he's constantly getting free advertising, right? Which is actually a really, really cool idea. And especially like this, I don't know, this pizza looks pretty good. What is it? It's a taco pizza on a cauliflower crust known as the 1-800-ASK Dave. You know? So that's pretty cool, right? So, you know, thinking about like, what are some of the outside of the box things? Because like local restaurants, like they're just not, they're very highly trafficked. And if you can get yourself in front of their audience, you know, it's people that aren't even looking for a personal injury attorney, but it's just branding over and over again. And then you can work out a deal with them. And actually, I used to do marketing for Sports Clip haircuts. Do you guys know Sports Clips, the Sports Clips chain? So I used to do marketing for them a long time ago. And one thing that we did that was one of the best pieces of marketing that we ever did, and I came up with this, I'm very proud of this idea, is we went to local restaurants. And local restaurants on their receipts, I'm not sure if you know how this works with local restaurants, but they don't have typical receipts where it's like a printer that's actually printing ink. It's actually heat transfer paper, right? So the printer is basically like, you know, it's like some sort of heat that it actually uses to print on local receipts. Like every restaurant that you go to, when you get a receipt, it's a heat transfer thing. So I started talking to these local restaurants. I was like, hey, listen, let me ask you this. If we pay for all of your printer paper for the next year, and we'll pay for it in advance, all your printer paper for the next year, will you let us put a coupon on every single receipt that comes out? And we had like 20 different restaurants that were like, yeah, sure, no problem. Because they spend, you know, a couple $1,000s on printer paper. But think about this. Now what we have is every single person that leaves that restaurant now sees an ad for Sports Clips haircuts, right? So you could do things like that as well. Think about like, what are some of the local places that you could do where you can figure out like, what are ways that you can help them offset their costs, right? So like printer paper is not that expensive. I said a couple $1,000. It's definitely not a couple $1,000. It's a couple like $100, right? But there's no downside to them, and they're just getting free printer paper now, right? So you think about things like that, like how can we find strategic partners that have the same audience as us, even if it's like a restaurant, right? Like if you're an attorney, you don't just, you serve everybody, right? You serve people, right? And then some of those people just will happen to need a lawyer at some time. So the point is, how do you find the ideal people that are, you know, how do you find people that are serving your same audience? And then how do you partner with them, even if it's in untraditional, unconventional ways like this? So that brings me to my another way that I love working with strategic partners, and that is by making the partners part of the offer. Making partners part of the offer. Now, most lawyers don't realize this, but lawyers are a commodity. And the only way for you to differentiate yourself and prove that you're actually a better lawyer than everyone else is to decommoditize yourself. Now, a commodity is very much like this iPhone right here, right? So this iPhone, you can go to Verizon, you can go to AT&T, you can go to T-Mobile, and you can get the same iPhone. The only thing that's going to differentiate, am I going to go to T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon, is probably going to be like price, or maybe they're running some sort of, you know, special offer or something like that. But an iPhone is an iPhone is an iPhone is an iPhone, right? So lawyers are kind of the same thing. Like, you know, when someone goes to Google and they search personal injury lawyer near me, if they knew who you were, they would search for your name. They wouldn't search personal injury lawyer or criminal defense lawyer or immigration lawyer or divorce lawyer or whatever you happen to practice. They would just search John Smith attorney and they would call you, right? So at that point, what you're really competing on is price. And price is the absolute worst thing to compete on because there's no strategic advantage of being the second lowest price. You either need to be the lowest price or you need to be the highest price. And, you know, I've seen $99 divorces and $99 bankruptcies, and you and I both know that that's not the same thing as hiring an attorney, but a lot of people don't know that, right? So you don't want to start competing over price. It's the absolute worst thing you can compete on. So instead, what you want to do is you want to compete over making a better offer. And one of the best ways to do that is to make an offer that's so good that they'd be stupid to say no. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to think about what are all the problems that your ideal clients have before they hire you, during the time that you're working on their case, and then after they hire you? What are all the problems that they have? So write this down. What are all the problems they have before, during, and after the case? Then what you want to do is make a list of who are all the businesses and service providers that solve those individual problems, right? And then what you can do is you can then partner with those individual service providers and make a really, really strong offer. And here's something else that you can ask yourself. What problems are created as a result of hiring my law firm, right? So here's a great example. Let's say that you're a family law firm, right? And you're doing divorces. So a mother comes to you and says, all right, I'm ready to get a divorce. And you say, okay, we get the divorce, right? So they sign the divorce paper. The problem was that she wanted to get the divorce process rolling. She wasn't happy in her marriage. Okay, we've started to fix that problem by initiating the divorce process. But by initiating the divorce process, we've created another problem. Actually, we've created a lot of problems. But one problem is that now I'm worried that this process is going to screw up my kids, right? Because my kids were fine. They were oblivious to everything a couple minutes ago, but now they're going to find out that mommy and daddy are getting divorced, and now they're going to be upset, right? And I don't want to screw up my kids. So what if you found a family therapist or a child psychiatrist? And truthfully, the mother or the father probably could use some therapy as well, right? Everybody could probably use some therapy, right? But what if you found a therapist, and it could be a family therapist, it could be a child psychiatrist, it could be, there could be multiple different people. And you say, listen, when you hire our law firm, not only are we going to give you the best representation that money can buy for your divorce, but we're not just stopping there. We're going to take care of your whole family. And that's why we actually have a partnership with a child psychiatrist. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you 2 free sessions with that child psychiatrist so that little Johnny can go in and have somebody to talk to, and you guys can make sure that everything is, taken care of so that this doesn't really screw up little Johnny, right? And then the deal that you have on the back end with the child psychiatrist is that you say, listen, I'm going to give you exclusive access to all my leads, all my clients. So when somebody hires me, here's what's going to happen. I want to offer them 2 free child therapy sessions with you. Right? And you're going to comp those. And then after that, if they want to continue, then you can charge your normal rate. And then after that, it's up to you, right? But I want to make sure that I give that as part of the offer. Now, in exchange, when somebody needs a family law attorney that comes through your office, I expect you to refer them to me, right? Now, imagine if you have like 5 or 6 different businesses that you put together this amazing offer where, they come in and they get, let's say you're a family law attorney, they get, 5 free personal injury sessions, and they get two therapy sessions, and they get a membership at the, local gym, and they get, all this other crap, right? Like wealth management, estate planning, all these things all bundled into one thing. And you have it basically tied together with all these referring attorneys, with all these attorneys that are referring you business because of the fact that you're making them part of your offer, right? So if you do that, then again, you're helping other people get what they want because you're literally sending them leads, and then they have to send back to you. Now, you're probably wondering what happens if they don't send back leads. It might happen. I mean, look, we've partnered with lots of people. Not everybody's a great partner. So what you do is let's say you work with 5 partners, and 3 of them are great and 2 of them suck. Well, then you replace the other 2, and you just keep working, you just keep building this out. But what I want to do is I want to show you a ChatGPT prompt that will actually allow you to come up with these offers. So this is a ChatGPT prompt that everybody's going to get that is going to, this is right here, referral partner offers ChatGPT prompt. So what this is going to do is this is going to let you, this is going to basically help you come up with who are the businesses that I can partner with, and then what can we offer depending by practice area. So somebody type a practice area in the chat, and I'll do it for the first practice area that comes in. Personal injury. A lot of personal injury attorneys in here, huh? All right, let's do personal injury. Maybe we'll do personal injury plus one more. Give me one more. Attorney. All right, I'm a personal injury attorney. So all you have to do is just update I'm a personal injury attorney, right? So then you enter it in, and then let's see what happens here. Here's a list of 25 strategic partner ideas tailored for your personal injury law practice with suggested offers that add real value to your clients and give the referral partner a strong incentive to reciprocate. So here we go. Okay, so urgent care clinics, chiropractors, physical therapy clinics. Chiropractors and physical therapy are kind of the obvious ones. Massage therapists, right? Auto body shops, tow truck companies, rental car companies. So these are problems prior to the case, right? Like, so the injury just happened, and then this is broken down to during the case. So orthopedic doctors and surgeons and pain management clinics and medical image centers, psychologists and therapists for PTSD, mobile notaries, translators and interpreters, financial planners, credit repair companies, real estate agents, vocational rehab, career coaches, insurance brokers, home modification contractors, private investigators, family law attorneys, estate planning attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, funeral homes, gun ranges. There's a ton of stuff in here, right? So, and what's cool is that it actually basically, it'll give you ideas for what you can do to make it work. What they get, and if you want more, if you want more, to go deeper into this. So like, how can we work with like rental car companies, right? So so you can expand this, right? So tell me more about number 7. So what's cool is that you go in there and it'll tell you a lot more about how you can make the rental car companies work. And it's great because you don't have to really do a whole lot of the thinking. You basically just put the whole thing together, and then you go out, you find the partners, and then you can, start building these offers out, which is really cool. So it gives you all this stuff. So, that's one of the best things that you can do, is making your offer include the strategic partner. I told you I'd do one more. Let's do, I think I saw DUI. So we'll do DUI as well. So I'm a DUI attorney, and you can see this. So bail bonds, it's an obvious one. Tow truck companies, police, equipment dash cam installers, taxi rideshare drivers, substance abuse evaluators, local DUI checkpoint lawyers. So they're not all winners, but there's enough decent ones in here that you can come up with some ideas. DUI education, defense schools, psychologists, therapists, private investigators, criminal defense attorneys who don't take DUIs. Not sure why you would do that. Court reporter. There's a lot of stuff, right? All right. So that is strategic partners. Now we could go a lot more into strategic partners, but there's so much that you can do when you have the right strategic partners that it really does make a big difference. All right. So that's the first thing, is using strategic partners. Now, the second thing I want to show you is actually something that's very simple and very, very easy, but very cool. Most of you probably haven't seen this before. So your business card, when you pass it out, is really the only thing that people can remember you by, right? So I think that you should spend some money and get as nice of a business card as possible. So these are the business cards that I used to use. And I want to show you this. This is, I don't know if you can see this. This is a business card that it's plastic. You can kind of see through it. And it feels like a credit card, right? Now these cost about $1 a piece, and I get them from plasticprinters.com. Now I don't have anything to do with plasticprinters.com. I just use them all the time. And the reason I'm saying that is because I bought the cheaper ones, and the cheaper ones suck. You have to get them from Plastic Printers. But here's the cool thing. When I would give out these business cards, and it's been a while since I've given out business cards. I don't really do a whole lot of stuff in person, but I used to give out business cards all the time. And when I give out these business cards, without fail, every time somebody's like, oh, wow, cool business card. Because nobody's ever seen anything like this, right? And what's cool is that I went to conferences and I would give out my business cards. For the rest of the conference, I was known as the cool business card guy, right? Now, it's great for my ego, but more importantly, people remembered me, right? When you give your business card to somebody and they leave, or you leave and they're no longer with you, then your business card is the only thing that they have to remind you by, to remember you by. Now, what's cool is that I've given these things out, and then I've gone back to somebody's office 6 months later, and the card is still sitting on their desk. And I asked them about it. I was like, why do you still have that? And they said, because it was so nice, they felt bad throwing it away, right? So what's cool about this, though, is that you can take this a step further. I dropped my card. is that you can actually, you can do some cool stuff. So like one thing that I saw that a criminal defense attorney did, that actually gave him this idea is we had his business card, and then on the back, it was a pullover checklist, right? And the instructions were keep this card with your driver's license. And it was a plastic card, so it would stay protected in their wallet. So keep this card with your driver's license. And if you're ever pulled over for DUI or anything like this, hand the officer the license and this card. And on the back of it, it said, I'm choosing the right to remain silent. I do not want to talk, I do not want to talk to you. Please contact my lawyer whose contact information is on this card, right? So you could do that. Personal injury attorneys could do that as well. You could say, you could have a guide like this is the checklist for what happens after you get into a car accident, right? Keep this with your insurance card or keep this with your driver's license so that if you're ever in a car accident, you know exactly what to do, right? So there's some cool stuff you can do, and because they're plastic, people will hang on to them. But, you want something that people are going to remember you by. Because if your card looks like everybody else, like this is a really stupid thing. But if you look like everybody else, then you're going to blend into everybody else. But if you actually have something like this that actually just differentiates you, then what's going to happen is people are going to remember you. People are going to hold on to it. And then when somebody needs your services, they're going to remember you, right? So it works out really well. The other thing that's cool, and I got this from an attorney named Kevin Hazlett. Everywhere he goes, speaking of business cards, he always leaves 2 business cards. Goes out to a restaurant, leaves 2 business cards. Goes to a car wash, leaves 2 business cards. And he told me that alone has gotten him so much business. He does personal injury, he does criminal defense, he does Social Security and disability, just by putting out business cards wherever he goes, right? Now, the thing about this is that these cards are a little bit more expensive. These cards are about $1 a piece, I think. Last time I checked, I don't know what they are now. But, it's worth it. So what I suggest is that you have 2 sets of cards, one set of cards that's like your marketing cards. And these are the cards that you're going to give out in an attempt to get clients. And then you have other cards that you're just giving out if you're just giving somebody your contact information, right? So better business card is something that will make a huge difference for you. And I would definitely recommend not only getting better business cards, plasticprinters.com is where I get these business cards from. But also giving out 2 business cards everywhere you go, because that's something that if you make a habit of doing that and just leaving 2 business cards everywhere you go, you never know who's going to need an attorney. And it's cool because, we've seen that happen lots and lots of times. So moving on, let's go to the next thing, which is following up with past clients. Now, one of the coolest things that you can do is get referrals from your past clients. And the reason that that's important is because if you can turn 1 client into 2 and then 2 clients into 4, then your law firm's going to grow without you really having to do much work for it. So that's why it's really important that you get referrals from your clients. Now, one of the reasons that people don't get referrals from their clients a lot of times is because their clients they're not top of mind, right? Their clients, their clients aren't necessarily like thinking about them all the time, right? So what you want to do is you want to give them a reason to think about them. You want to for them to think about you, right? Now, you don't want to just always be reaching out and saying, hey, well, if you know anybody that needs an attorney, let me know, right? Like you don't want to do that. What you want to do instead is you want to, provide value and give them a reason to actually remember you. Now, one cool thing that you can do is you can actually send them handwritten cards. But here's the trick. They're not actually handwritten. So if you look at this card right here, let me see if I can shift that. Okay. So basically, this is actually, if you touch it, it's actually written with a real pen. And when you open it up, it looks like that. And then it's actually got that there, right? This is completely written by a machine, right? And it's actually a machine that holds a pen and writes it, right? So this is from a company called Simply Noted. And there's another company out there also called Handwritten that we've used as well. And what's cool is that you can upload a bulk email list. You can upload all kinds of stuff and you can send out cards to people. So send thank you cards, send birthday cards. Birthday cards are a great thing. And actually I heard Craig Goldenfarb had this idea, and I love this idea. every year for every client's birthday, he sends them a card, a handwritten card, and then 2 lottery tickets inside of it, right? Well, why the 2 lottery tickets? Well, I get birthday cards a lot from like my car dealership and stuff like that, but it's always just kind of like, I don't know. It's just like this generic card that doesn't have anything in it for me. A lottery ticket probably costs, you can get a lottery ticket for $1, 2 lottery tickets for $2, but it at least gives them a reason. It makes them pause and makes them think about you, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, I actually got a birthday card from a mortgage broker that I was working with, and I needed a mortgage at that time, but I didn't even think about him until I got the birthday card. And then, I got the card and I was like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm about to apply for the mortgage. Hey, maybe you can help me out, right? So a lot of times it's just our clients just need to be reminded about us, and that's when they refer, right? But a lot of times maybe you have clients that want to refer people to you, but they just don't even, it's like if you're a personal injury attorney or if you're a criminal defense attorney or whatever, maybe they just don't know anybody that needs a personal injury attorney right now, right? So you want to make sure that you're continually reminding them that you exist. And that's why newsletters are really good too. If you have a valuable newsletter, a monthly newsletter that just has information in it that people actually care about, or, create videos and things about just legal events that really anybody that affect everybody, legal issues that affect everybody, then that's something that people actually care about. Now, what's cool about that is that you can then take that content, you can create content on topics that people care about. And then you can, use it on social media. You can use it in your newsletter. You can have it transcribed and create it into like text and things like that. And then you can use that to not only follow up with current clients, or to not only follow with past clients who you want to stay in contact with and just continually remind them about you, but you can also then use that information as well, use that content as well on social media. You can use that on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and things like that. So one thing that I always think about though, is I always think about, how do we create content that people actually care about, right? How do we actually create content that people are actually interested and want to watch? Does anybody ever fall into that? Give me a 1 in the chat. If you want to do videos, but you're just not sure what to film on, because there's so many things that you could talk about, but you just don't want to waste your time. You don't want to film stuff that people don't care about, right? Well, I'm going to show you really quickly how you can do some research, and you can film videos that you 100% know people care about every single time. So check this out. This is a really cool strategy that I don't share very often, but because you guys are here, I want to show you. All right, so we're back here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to TikTok. Now, TikTok is a bit like crack. So you have to get away from this page very quickly because if I pause it. So what's cool about this is that you can see I did some things here. So like you can come up here and you can search a keyword that's related to your law firm. So let's say divorce. So let's just type divorce. And then first thing that you're going to see is you're going to see on the right here, others search for divorce advice for men dealing with divorce quotes that hit hard, I guess. Signs you're ready for a divorce, men after a divorce TikTok, best divorce songs, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to click up here where it says videos. And what's cool about this is that now you can see how many views each of these videos got. So this one right here has 232,000 likes. That's not even plays. That's how many likes this video has, right? So if that's the case, and this video had 232 likes, then that means, or 232,000 likes, then what this means is that this is something that resonated with a lot of people. So maybe we should watch this video and look at what was the topic and how does he start this video? What is the first 3 seconds of this video? And you can go through and you can do this. Look at this. Why I consider divorcing my husband, 1.3 million views, right? What most men find out after a divorce, 11,000 views. Let's see. There's so many in here. 2 days before the divorce. How to survive your divorce. Divorce, a new beginning for men. You know what I mean? So there's so many different things. But then you can also look like divorce advice for men. So hey, here's Brett Bowers. This is a client of ours. This is Brett Bowers, right? Look at this. The video's got 4,100 views, and it's divorce advice for men. Here's another one, 510 views, things men should do during a divorce. Here's another one with Brett, 12,000 likes. Here's another one, 2 major lessons learned. So as you can see, there's just so many different things that you can do. Here's James Sexton. James Sexton has some great content. He actually spoke at our event, our boot camp, not too long ago. But there's so many things you can do when you're coming in here, and you can just find, like, you just search your keyword, and then it'll just take you down this rabbit hole. So then divorced men over 40, right? And there's a bunch of stuff about that. And the cool thing is that what you can do is you can look at the video, you can see what's the topic of the video, you can see what text did they use on the video. So like for example, right? Odds are in your favor, men post divorce 40 plus. I would literally take that exact text and put it on top of the video, right? Because some reason it worked. And then what you do is you watch this video, and you see how did he start this video off? And you kind of see what worked, because odds are if it worked for them there, it's going to work for you again, right? So this is a great way to do this. Now, I created another chat GPT prompt for you. And this is basically going to be for topic research. So if you're not exactly sure what should I put in here on TikTok, then all you have to do is come down here and copy this. You can see down here, topic research chat GPT prompt. And at the end of this call, we're going to give you a copy of this, and then you paste it in there. And then where it says insert practice area, give me a practice area in the chat real quick. TikTok sucks and will be made illegal soon. I mean, I don't think it's going to be made illegal. And TikTok, you can have your opinion on TikTok, but the numbers are there, and you should use it as a search tool, not as a, feelings aside, you can definitely see what people are using. All right, let's say criminal defense, DUI. Let's say bankruptcy. How about that? Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like the platform. Just use it and get the data. All right, so yeah, so basically, like, what you can do is like, okay, so I did bankruptcy, right? So all right, let's see credit card debt. Let's see what comes up if I search credit card debt. Yeah, so credit card debt payoff, credit card debt layoff, credit card debt advice. Let's see what they say here. So now users, videos, and yeah, here's a video. Advice for a lot of credit card debt with a high interest rate. 172,000 views, right? Here's another one. Advice for getting out of credit card debt. This has got 1,700 likes. Reduce interest on credit card debt, 2,600 likes. So you can take these, and I mean, like, you can literally do this for everything. You can do this for foreclosure. You can do this for bankruptcy. You can do this for all these different things. And you can, come up with tons and tons of videos. And then you can use these videos in your social media. You can use them in your ads. You can use them in your newsletters when you're following up with clients. You can use them pretty much everywhere, right? Because if you have content that people are actually interested in, then what that's going to do is that's going to make them pay attention to you, and it's going to allow you to prove you can help them by actually helping them. So these are a couple different ways that you can get clients, and these are things that work every single time. Like, I guarantee you, if you do these things, they will work. Yeah, so that's what we got so far today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Law Firm Growth Acceleration Talk Show, and we will talk to you all soon.